Hi everybody! So for my teaching strategies worksheet, I chose to do my 9th grade biology class, and the topic I picked was genetics and heredity, genetic disorders, and dominant recessive traits. I feel like these all intertwine together, and you can't really talk about genetics and heredity without talking about like the genetic mutations and dominant recessive traits, why some traits show, why some don't. So I just thought they all kind of went together. The first teaching strategy I picked was lecture. I like to do this with my kids, especially when they aren't familiar on a subject, and I do like to use Cornell notes because I feel like it gives them more time to focus and they can pay attention more to the lecture instead of having to write everything down word for word. If they can just write the keywords into the notes, I see that they really enjoy it too because they can spend more time listening to me and asking questions if they stumble upon something they really don't understand. The second one I chose was the group project. For the group project, I decided that I would have a Punnett Square packet, and students will learn how to draw, complete, interpret, calculate probabilities, and figure ratios for single trait crosses with complete dominance interaction. So I felt like Punnett Squares were a really crucial thing for them to learn, especially when it came to determining their own heredity and what traits could have got passed down to them from mom or dad. So I think learning Punnett Squares is a really big thing, and I thought a group project would be a good way to do it because they would be able to help each other out, and it's kind of like a team interaction. And I also thought it would be cool if they could build relationships and they got to see like why they have the physical characteristics that they have. The next one I chose was Computerized Instruction for the individualized teaching strategy. I chose this one because I felt like it would be, how can I put this? It would be nice for the students to actually take a break away from the classroom and the traditional teaching and paper, pencil, so being able for them to use their computer and everything like that. So I decided to use a Google document where I would have a list of different genetic disorders that they would have to go research themselves about in order to answer the questions I downloaded into the Google Docs for Google Classroom. And I required for them to cite their sources, and they would have to create a one-pager. I did find this one pretty difficult to plan for, only because we're only allowed so many computers in the science department and we often have to share with one another, so I don't have access to laptops all the time. So planning for this one I found really difficult, but I thought the kids would enjoy doing it. The last one, under Experiential, I chose laboratory. In science, I feel like labs are a huge thing, and I feel like students really enjoy them. I think they enjoy, getting away from the desks and being able to work with one another. So for this one, I decided to do the testing of PTC paper. And this paper, it just has like a specific taste to it. And if you have the trait, you should be able to taste the taste on the paper. But if you do not have the trait, obviously you are recessive for it and you cannot taste it. So I thought this would be fun for them to do, and they would be able to see which one of their parents were dominant for the trait and which one of them were recessive. And then it also required them to answer pre-lab and post-lab questions as well. So I did find this one kind of hard too because there's not many labs out there about genetics and heredity, but I do feel like it's an important thing for students to know, where they come from and why they look the way they do and why their hair is the way they do. So I did enjoy doing this a lot.